Hey there, boys and girls. It was requested we do Shinryu with Zyrus, and that sounded fun to me, so I figured we'd give him a whirl. We need to use green magic, evoke Shiva and Rama, beating within 25 turns. Tommy was kind enough to set us up as Zyrus for this one, so we'll be taking it. All of our units have 100% water resist, so they can survive the preemptive. It's not necessarily necessary for your damage units to have 100% water resist, but I want to get the ball rolling right off the bat, so I geared accordingly for that. I've got Rama on Charlotte for Dispel. She should have some free turns doing this to Dispel, and I can't really use items because the game glitches whenever I do that right now, so I figured we'd just throw Rama on there and take care of it that way. And I've got Titan on Warrior Light for the Stone Resist or Earth Resist. Warrior Light's going to be our passive provoke full evade tank. You can just have Warrior Light hard cast his provoke skill. I just always think it's better to passive provoke, you know, when you can. Charlotte's going to be our magic tank for this one. She's got a lot of resist to protect herself from Shinryu's nasty magic attacks. Nothing super crazy. Oh, I did put Bonds of the Eons on some of my units because we're going to try to be killing this boss pretty quick, and I want the passive Esper fill. Lid's going to be our breaker for this one. I picked Lid because of Jamming Pulse. She can do it on turn 2. Zyrus going to be putting up his Imperil turn 1. So with Jamming Pulse, we can leave the Imperil and the cooldown break intact and do hopefully a whole bunch of damage. Aiden's going to be our healer for this one. Aiden and Zyrus pair up really well because of the Magus abilities on both of them. If I would have thought that I was going to be using Aiden again, I probably would have saved him for this video and not used him on the ring clear. But Aiden's pretty crucial for how we're going to be going about doing this for this team. This is my Zyrus, really high magic, lots of Dragon Killer. The one thing I don't really like about Zyrus, he is difficult to build. He needs a lot of MP because of his Magus ability. I think that's why you don't see him kind of like on the friends list a lot, because he's difficult to build. Mine's on Siren for that water resist buff. That's what the builder told me to do, so I was going with it. Tommy's got a really nice Zyrus right here. A lot of hit points, which is nice. He's got the resistance that we need. He doesn't have any equipped Dragon Killer, but that should be fine. He's a really, really well-built friend unit. That's about that. Let's give it a go. We're going to be looking at roulette this time because, you know, I don't think Zyrus can one-shot this this dragon, but he can do a whole bunch of damage to it. Alrighty, on turn 1, we're going to open up with just double casts for me because I can't cast like the Magus and a whole bunch of abilities because, like I said, the MP cost is really high. So we're going to cast the Magus and his Imperil that unlocks quad cast. We're going to do the same thing with Tommy Zyrus. He's got a little bit more MP. He could cast another skill, but I want to keep it pretty simple, so we'll do the same thing on both of them. So since that happens, all of their MP goes away. Aiden's going to be here to the rescue for that one. He's going to give the huge barrier and all of Zyrus's MP back. That's going to help us survive the turn 1. We're also going to go ahead and do mitigation with Warrior Light to help the other units survive. I don't think you need to use mitigation. It's just an extra precaution. Then we'll use the cooldown break with Lid. Oh yeah, we get to look at the Libra there. So you'll get 1 AoE physical. Everything else should be immune by your team if you geared up accordingly. Alright. So we'll get Lid to jump down here and get Jamming Pulse. That's going to remove the defense and spirit buff the boss has. And then we're going to quad. We'll get our Dragon Killer buff. And I'm just going to do Dark. You can use whatever element you want. Like, I'm pretty sure all of the Zyrus' elements work for this one. Alright, let's send that off. Should open up with some pretty good damage. We've got an Esper available, so we'll go ahead and summon it, get that out of the way. Some really good damage right there. Let's see here. Aiden is going to give us status immunity, or stat break immunity, and I guess he can just heal up a little bit of damage that we took. I want to get an Earth Resist buff from Warrior Light. On turn 2, we're going to see an Earthquake attack, That's going to give you a stat break, and you can immune it if you have 100% Earth Resist, which is what we geared for. And at the end of the turn, he's going to do Roulette. Ideally, I would rather see Roulette go on Warrior Light out of all my units. If he does it to himself, it's not the worst thing, but like I said, I would prefer it to go on Warrior Light. Went on Charlotte. I think that's going to be fine for us, because the next turn is going to be a like a gravity attack, so we shouldn't have anything that we need to magic cover right there. Alrighty, with Aiden, let's res Charlotte. That's also going to give the rest of our units a re-res, which is really nice. I really don't know what else like would be beneficial to do right here, so I guess we'll just do a heal. Let's see, I think we need to re-break with Lid. He's got his defense and spirit buff up. Warrior Light could use an item right here to dispel that, and then I could break with Lid, and then I could re-imperil with the Zyruses and do damage that way, but I'm too nervous that it would glitch the game out, so we're not going to do that. We'll go ahead and use Lid's Limit Burst to re-break the boss. Then we'll just quad our damage onto him. We would get more damage, you know, if we would do it that way, but unfortunately the game's not working correctly right now. Alright, so we'll chain this off. We should get him down pretty low regardless, and then we should be able to finish him off next turn. Yeah, some pretty good damage right there. I want to have Warrior Light do his Earth Resist buff again. And we're going to see a roulette at the end of this turn as well. We're going to get some Petrifies. I would actually rather have the roulette go on him now. Hey, looky there. Ask for and you shall receive. Alrighty, let's see if we can finish this guy off. Let's get Aiden to fix these Petrifies. When he does the Petrify attack, or the Petrify effect to your units, he does fully dispel them. So if you need to reapply buffs, just keep that in mind. And we've got a re-raise on the majority of our units. I'm just going to do an apple a day. Heal everybody up. I think we can just reload Zyrus. See if we can get us a killer right here. It's going to be close. Nice. Alright, so the thing with Shinryu is he kind of hangs up right here, and it gives you an opportunity, which is nice for us, to summon our second Esper. Charlotte has enough fire resist to survive this. A bunch of our units have re-raise on them as well. Like I said, ideally, I would rather have dispelled like on turn 3. It really wouldn't have mattered very much because Shinryu targeted himself, and when he does that, like, he gets the attack and magic buff. But I could have done that without a defense and spirit buff on him, which would have made killing him a little bit easier. So if you're doing this at home, if you want to risk it with the item thing, go ahead. But that's where I'm at with that. I would really like to get Charlotte's. Well, it doesn't. Hell, we're gonna live. We'll just defend these two. Fight's over. There's the Giga Flare. And we live. There you go. Summon Shiva and Rama. We use Green Magic Warrior Light. Killed him in 4 turns with the Dragon Slayer himself, Zyrus. If you can't gear up your Zyruses as well as what I had right here, and you don't feel comfortable going for a turn 4 win, you can damage the boss much slower. Do it threshold by threshold, kind of work through it like that. Sinzar had a really good video with Plum and Porum where he did pretty much just that. I'll link that in my pinned comment down below. Like I said, if you're not comfortable with trying to LOL DPS the boss dead, check his video out. It's a very good tutorial on how to go through the fight, like probably the right way, I guess you would say. But I figured since we was using Zyrus, let's go big or go home. Certainly appreciate Tommy and Tragic. Tragic also set us up as Zyrus. I took Tragic on the first try for this, and that's where the item thing kind of got me and made me a little bitter, but we made it through it. I hope you guys liked the video. Have a good rest of the week. Toodaloo.